Very famous. You don't just know, you know, then you know you know, then you really, really know.
Knowing you are different but not being ready or able to talk about it is a reality for many gay people in Iowa and Minnesota. Currently, there is no way to know how many people in our area consider themselves homosexuals. However, the U.S. Census Bureau does count same-gender couples who live together. In 2000, nearly 5% of Minnesotans told census takers they are gay or lesbians and in a relationship. Almost 4% of Iowans said the same thing. The majority of these folks live in major cities. The 2000 census shows that nearly 1 in 5 same-gender couples in Iowa live in or around Des Moines. In Minnesota, nearly 15% of gay couples in relationships called Minneapolis home in 2005. Those are just the people who are out and in a relationship.
Outfront Minnesota says nationwide 1 in 10 people are gay. Now, for them, coming out of the closet is one of the most difficult and life-challenging moments they'll ever experience. It's even more challenging if they live in a small town. And tonight, KIMT News 3's Colleen O'Shaughnessy gets the perspective of 2 gay men who know what it's like coming out in the heartland.
Well, it's actually, growing up as a kid, I'm like, I'm the only one. I'm like, I can't, I'll never come out. I'm like, I bet I'm the only one in Iowa.
Davey Welcher spent his childhood in Hampton, Iowa.
Well, I literally grew up, like, knowing everybody, or at least them knowing me.
He says he felt different from a very early age.
I didn't even really know what it was I was experiencing.
By high school, Davey realized what made him different. He liked men, not women. But he hid his feelings, afraid of how his small town would react.
What if my parents kicked me out? What if my friends, shunned me? What if, being that young and being in a small town, my options would have been very limited on what I would have done.
After high school, Davey moved to Iowa City. That's when he says he finally figured out who he was.
I lived with a roommate who had some gay friends, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're saying they're gay. They're saying they're like guys. I think that could be me. Like, I think I might be gay.
Slowly, on weekends back home to Hampton, he began coming out to friends. Most people reacted positively.
And that was the biggest thing for me, is when I could finally tell a friend that, I'm gay, and they didn't turn their back.
Of course, others didn't agree with his lifestyle.
So, a couple classmates kind of cut me off after, they found out.
Davey told friends, but couldn't tell his parents. In fact, it was his mother who first approached him.
I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm gay.
Though it isn't without some struggle, Davey is now living what he considers to be a truthful and authentic life, and at a very young age. But others, like Rod Pump, spend the majority of their lives knowing they're different, but denying the reason to their family, their friends, and even to themselves.
Rod Pump grew up in a small town of around 500 people just outside Waterloo, Iowa.
My younger brother, and that's my sister.
We didn't know a lot about the outside world and what was going on.
Growing up as a middle child with 4 brothers and sisters, Rod just tried to blend in.
I think I always felt different, which is a very common theme with a lot of gay men and women. They always knew that somehow they didn't fit with the crowd.
He dated women in high school and eventually even got married and had a son.
I wanted to get married. I wanted that. I was doing the right thing.
Rod says he spent married life lying about his real feelings. Not to others, but to himself, even when his wife confronted him.
She accused me of being gay years and years ago. I mean, she just admit it. And I never had that. I denied it. I said, no, I'm not. I said, you're all wrong.
Eventually, Rod got divorced. But it took lunch with a stranger to make him realize what he was hiding from.
He said, you're not out. And I'm going, what do you mean? He said, are you gay? And I said, I don't know.
Rod went into therapy and eventually started telling friends.
To say it out loud to someone, I think I'm gay. That's a very hard statement, because now you have to deal with it, because it's out.
He says the hardest part was telling his parents. But after a 2-hour conversation, they began to understand.
It was not easy for them. And I don't think I don't know if my mom will ever quite get it.
Now Rod is living what he calls an authentic life. He says what's different is not what he does, but who he loves. And by doing so, he's trying to change how people perceive the gay community.
I just go about being myself, and when they find out that I'm gay, or they figure out that the person I'm with is my boyfriend, they go, "But you're just a couple of regular guys." Exactly.
In North Iowa, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, KIMT News 3.
And it's not just gays and lesbians who struggle with the issue of when to come out. Often their family and friends must deal with their own emotions as well. Parents, family, and friends of gays and lesbians, also known as PFLAG, can help people understand what their loved one is going through. Now, if you'd like more information on PFLAG in your area, log on to our website and click on links we mentioned.